I feel like I've been living in the awkward stage of hair growth since the 90s. When I first got my relaxer. That feeling of walking out the salon, getting boosted up on the grown-up's chair and getting impressed and watching your hair go from like this really tightly coiled fro and just watching it come down and being able to swing it and walk it down and having people, compliment you on your hair. So I remember those experiences. I got my first relaxer before I graduated kindergarten. Even though those were like really young and really long time ago, I still remember that experience. And I feel like I haven't gotten it since then. So I have been running away from this video about being at the orchid length for a few months now. But I was kind of inspired. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you've been watching The Hair Tales, which is a series that I think Tracy Ellis Ross produced, where she just goes and talks to different celebrities about their hair experiences. And if you want, go ahead and you can share your hair story down below too. I like reading them. But this is my confession. I've been in the awkward length of my hair since the 1990s. I would love it when I got braids. That's why braids were comfortable to me. Like I knew they were gonna add a certain kind of hair. They were gonna part it a certain kind of way. It was gonna stay that way for whatever number of weeks. I always felt like this little bit of disappointment leaving the salon and my hair not growing. And I never understood what the issue was. So at first I thought it was because I was using like Relax. I was like, yes, Relax. I did like Relax things I probably shouldn't have been doing. Like I used heat a lot. Like I would pull out that flat iron and bump my hair like 2-3 times a week, even when it was like up in a bun. Yeah, so I knew there were things that I was doing relaxed I could have been doing better. But like once I went natural, I was like, okay, all that's out. Like I'm not using heat. I didn't have any chemicals in my hair. So I thought it was going to be smooth sailing. I was doing all of the right things, all the natural hair things. I was using natural. I was whipping up my own shea butter mixes. I was doing clay treatments. I was doing henna. I was doing all the things. And like, I wasn't getting anywhere. So I was just like, I never had this experience where I just looked in the mirror and was like, thought my hair was breathtaking. So one of the first videos to kind of gain some traction on my channel was not the 30-day hair detox. It was me talking about how I had been natural for 10 years, but I wasn't Rapunzel. So right now, I feel like I'm in an awkward stage because I am currently growing out henna, so my cut doesn't like quite connect. My goal is to have like a chin length curly bob, but you can see like this is kind of up here, and then this is, it's still not quite there yet. I'm working through some holes, connecting some holes in my haircut or whatever. But the thing is, that's the thing about the awkward stage. Nobody really knows you're in the awkward stage unless you say something. So if I didn't say anything and I showed up with like makeup on, earrings on, outfit together, would anybody else besides me know that this is not how I wanted my hair to look? I don't know. I don't think so. And that's the other thing. For naturals, when I think of awkward length for myself, it is anything that's shorter than chin length. So anything shorter than chin length is hard for me to put my hair up into a puff. Don't have that much hang time back here. For me, that's for me personally, that's awkward length. But it wasn't until I was a whole grown adult that I heard people talk about awkward length being too long. Women that I work with, when their haircut grows out too much, they don't like it when their hair is too long. So it's really, I think the awkward length is really just, your hair is just not doing what you want it to do and you hoped it would do. Now, I guess the good thing, if your hair is in the awkward length because it's too long, like you can always go get it cut. The hard part about having an awkward length that is too short is like, you just gotta wait it out. You gotta wait it out or you gotta add hair. For me, the awkward length has always been too short. In the past, what I would do when I was just trying to grow my hair out, well, transitioning. I transitioned 3 times. First time was in middle school. I was hoping that if I stopped relaxing my hair, it would be long like it was when I was a little girl. And so I wore box braids, not for that long. I think it was maybe for like a year. I would either wear box braids or wear my hair in 2 braids. And after like a year, I went and got that first press and I was like, this ain't the move. Because it didn't last. Like I had been so used to relaxers. Like I said, I relaxed my hair before kindergarten. So I had that whole relaxed experience with just like 1 year, like 6-7 years by middle school, 6 or 7 years of, relaxer maintenance, and then going into the press and curl. The press and curl, I was like, oh my God. Like, and it's not like now with all the silk presses and the fancy tools and the fancy products. Like this was, again, late 90s, early 2000s, this first transition. The people were just starting to use the flat irons in the salon. Like people had them at home, but it wasn't, they didn't last the way they do now. So I was like, I don't want to be in a salon all day to get a press a curl. Plus, I didn't have my own money, so I didn't even know how often my mother was going to let me go to the salon to get the press a curl. I wasn't trying to play with the hot comb on the stove because that was still mostly the move. So it's just like, no, I don't like this. I'm getting a relaxer. So I got the relaxer because, again, like the natural hair movement was infancy, if at all, existed, and I didn't know how to navigate my hair inside of anything other than straight. Like I didn't know anything about rod sets. I didn't know anything about twist outs. I didn't know anything about what. Like I would have laughed at you. I would have laughed at you in middle school if you told me just to, wear my hair like I'm wearing it now. You could just, wash your hair and put some gel and some water in it, and you'll have some defined texture. I would have been like, no way. Like I would never thought my hair could look like this, because that's how far removed the natural hair movement was back then. So if you're enjoying this video so far and you kind of share my journey, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to watch more of my videos, make sure you subscribe. So that was the first time I transitioned. The second time I transitioned out of relaxers was in college. I was uncomfortable with my hair. So what happened was, and I didn't even reflect on this until I was getting ready for this video, so I was a little uncomfortable, a little bit vulnerable. But for high school graduation, my mother made me get a weave for the first time. And my spirit was broken because I felt like my hair wasn't good enough anymore. It probably was a big deal to her, but back at that time, people weren't really wearing weaves the way they do now. And if they were trying to keep it on the hush hush. So for graduation, I had got my hair relaxed and it was just really broken off in the back. And my mother was like, well, you need to put a track back there so it looks good under the cap. And I was so taken aback because I hadn't had braids extensions before, but I had never had a weave at that point. I got that track, one or two tracks in the back of my hair for graduation, and that was that. But then, going off into college, I didn't even, like I said, it's just reflecting on this years later. Going into college, I left for school with micro box braids, and I had been wearing them on and off throughout high school. But it's once I got to college, I went from Harlem, New York, which is mostly people of color, people who look like me, people who act like me, people who talk like me, to a private white institution. So it was a big transition. I didn't know if there was going to be anybody out there to do my hair, so I went out there with micro box braids. And I kept those micro box braids in for pretty much the first 3 years I was there. I would come home on the weekends, get it braided up. But I think that experience of getting a track or two put in the back because my hair wasn't good enough, somehow stuck with me, and I was scared to take those box braids out. I didn't show up for the first 3 years. You would never find me on my college campus without somebody, without some extensions in my hair. I've definitely been enjoying the 30-day hair detox and kind of wearing my hair and wash and goes and getting to know and nurture and care for my hair. I've definitely been enjoying that. But at the end of the day, my goal is a chin length bob. And still not quite there yet. Having a goal to grow out your hair and, going into the salon to get haircuts is sometimes a mind. It messes with your mind. But about a year and a half ago, I had did a video about how I had been natural for 10 years and I didn't have my hair where I thought it would be. And I was almost nervous to go back and look at that because I know my hair has been, it's flourishing. The condition of it is definitely improving. But lengthwise, again, not that many inches. I got to grow that henna out. I got to connect it and all these other things. So I haven't, achieved much in terms of length. But, when I look back at that video, I'm like, oh, yeah, my hair is definitely in better condition than it was then. And it's a little nerve-wracking having this YouTube channel because now it's my journey is getting documented on camera. And I don't have, a track record of meeting my hair goals. And yeah, to be honest, I don't know. First it was relaxers. First, I felt like my hair wasn't growing because I was relaxing it. I used to use the curling iron and heat styling tools multiple times a week on my hair. And I felt like that's the reason why my hair wasn't growing. So again, I transitioned to natural 3 times. And normally when I would hit this stage, this is where I would run to protective styling. So when my hair got to a point where it's it's not the length I want, I would put it in protective styling and hope for the best. But that never worked for me. When I say it never worked, I would put the protective styles in and I would come out, my hair would be about the same length. Like I knew, again, I've been gray since I was 14 years old. So I can tell, there was never no doubt in my mind that my hair wasn't growing from my scalp. But wearing, box braids, I used to do like the two-strand twist and all of that back to back to back. It did nothing for me in terms of helping my hair to get longer. So, I used to just throw it up on a puff on the top of my hair. I wasn't using heat. I wasn't doing anything that I thought would be damaging. It was like my hair was just stuck at whatever length it was. Because the messaging I had gotten, growing up is that if you leave your hair alone, it will grow. And that's only partially true. So it's like if you take care of your hair and leave it alone, then it will grow. That care part is essential, fundamental. I had to learn that the hard way. And here I am again, tracking my journey on this YouTube channel. Again, my hair is in a much, much better condition than when I filmed that original video. But I still don't know if I'm ever going to reach my hair goal. So right now, the thing that I think was holding me back was the henna. Henna and my hair are definitely 100% incompatible. I was like blown away by how different the texture of, by how different my henna hair behaved compared to my unhennaed hair. And again, I have that visual of gray hair, so I can see where the henna ends and where my gray hair starts. So just having that visual comparison and watching how it behaves was like crazy to me. So I definitely think that was holding me back some. And I had started hennaing as I was still transitioning from a relaxer. So I wanted to get into natural hair, and I wanted to get into it on the good ship. So I was like, I'm gonna start hennaing my hair. I'm gonna start using clay treatments. I did all the things trying to care for my hair, and it was just setting me back. So when I rolled everything back to simplicity, I'm like, okay, the condition of my hair looks great, but I still feel like I'm at the armpit length again because I want to live somewhere between a chin length and a shoulder length curly bob. That's all the hair I could take. That's all the product I want to use. I'm pretty sure I'll be comfortable with my hair between chin length and shoulder length. And that's good for me because I have a goal now. Before, I just used to want long hair. Like, as long as you could possibly grow it, and length was measured by, pulling this hair down or pulling this hair down my back. Like, I didn't really know how I wanted to present to the world most of the time. And right now is a chin length curly bob. The chin length and shoulder length, I'm reaching for that right now because I also want to be able to pull my hair up. And I do like the look of having, when I braid my hair back, having some hang time in the back or enough to make, do a bun or something cute in the back when I go ahead and twist or braid it back. So having that visual, that goal that I'm working to, partnering with a stylist, and just understanding what I want versus just I want to be Rapunzel, has been helpful. It helps to counteract that. It's this weird feeling when you're trying to grow your hair out, but you part of the process of growing your hair out is getting, in general, is getting regular trims and also losing length, right? So you're like, I want longer hair, but in order to get longer hair, you have to let go of the length. And I think what is really going to get me out of the awkward phase, what has really been helping my hair flourish, is acceptance. Before I used to run away from it. So I would either try to blow out my hair or straighten it to show off all the length I had, or I would throw it in protective styles until, hopefully I got to length. So I was kind of running away from my hair. This is the first time I've actually leaned into the awkward stage. So I got that initial cut, and I knew that, I was going to have to grow this henna out of my hair. I accepted that. When all the other girls doing the 30-day hair detox was getting a 7-day wash and goes, and I was looking at my hair was looking at me like, nah, we not, this is not a 7-day head of hair. So at most 5 days, but I accept that if I want my hair to look a certain way, I'm going to have to wash it twice a week, or be okay with wearing it in 2 flat twists for a while. But for the most part, I've accepted that my hair, the longevity I get out of my hair is 3 or 4 days. It's not the products. It might be a little bit of technique, but I just accept it is for what it is, and I just make time to do the things I need to do to care for my hair. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I've been okay in this awkward stage, and just knowing that I'm not trying to be Rapunzel. But there's still a little bit of uncertainty, because right now I'm like, okay, so henna was holding me back. I grow hair. My hair grows out of my head at a very normal rate. So I'm just hoping that once this henna's gone, I'll see more in the way of length retention. But I still really don't know, and I'm still here sharing my journey on YouTube. And that's the part that that makes this a little bit of awkward. So it's the length, it's the kind of sharing the experience. I don't know if I'm gonna make it out the awkward stage this time. This is the most improvement I've ever seen. We'll see. 2023, I should be henna free and see where my hair goes from there. Um, Thanks for watching. I got some fun content planned for the end of the year. I want to do something called Curlsmas, where I just kind of do. I'm a rod girl. Like, I like rod sets, so I'm just gonna try like a few different sets, like rod sets, twist and curl, bantu knot. I did a magnetic roller set, but I don't think I'm gonna include that at Curlsmas because it went a little bit left. I can't fit under my dryer with the purple rollers that I need in my hair right now. So if you're interested in seeing any of that type of that content, you want to join me for Curlsmas, be sure to subscribe, and thank you.